All right, guys, beautiful moment right here on our farm. This is the kind of experience every farmer love to have. This is the joy of every farmer. This is the reason why we actually get into the business. This is why we do what we do. This is why we put in the time. This is why we put in the resources. We put in the money and the labor and the energy into all we do night and day, ensuring we make the right profits. And very beautiful experience, very wonderful experience. I'm sure everybody out there would love this kind of experience. And yeah, that's what we'll be sharing with you in this video. We want to share with you our experience on the number of profits, the amount of profit we're able to make from our sales. So that's really great. If you're new to this channel, please ensure you subscribe. We already have lots of great content, but we'll bring into you lots of lots of great content on how to run a profitable pig farm. And right on this video, that's exactly what we're sharing. The profit we made. This is literal. It's not abstract. It's not abstract. It's literal. It's something the numbers speak for themselves. They say words speak, numbers roar. So right here, we want to walk you through figures, numbers. We're not bringing anything out of just theory or something. We want to walk you through everything that happened on this farm. I mean, in this particular sale, and how much profit we're able to make from them. All right. So let me quickly put a disclaimer out there. The profit we made is actually abnormal. That means it's not normal. We made this profit because we keyed into an opportunity. So you may not always make exactly this profit, but you should make close to this profit. So I want to be very clear with you, so that if you don't make this profit, you don't feel you are at a loss, or probably you're not doing something right. I'll tell you the reason why we made this massive profit and the opportunity we keyed into. So you may be lucky to have such opportunity also, but to be very honest with you, it's very rare, and very, very rare and scarce to have that kind of opportunity. All right. So now we were able to raise in totality at the final stage, the present final stage, you used to see them in this pen. I'm sure you do see them in this particular pen. You do see at least about 8 animals in this pen. Now you're seeing just 2. Actually, it's not just 2 left. We have put some in some other pens, but part of the pigs that used to be on this pen has been sold, and that's what we want to share with you on the profit we made. Now let me really talk about the fact that the only reason why we can share with you these figures and this profit is because we kept a good farm record. And that's one of the things I've mentioned in past videos, at least one video, that you need to keep a proper farm record. You need to know what's going on your farm. You need to know if you're making profits or not. So at some point in time, let me tell you how this really happened. At some point in time, some people came to the farm and they scaled the animals, and they were able to, they bought some other animals, and they scaled the ones at least one in this pen, 1 or 2 of them in this pen. Now, when I looked at the weight, I was able to validate that with the cost that has gone on them. So I knew we were right in business, because if I sold them at that exact time when they scaled them, I will still make good profit. That's why I said you have to keep proper farm record, because if you don't keep the records, you don't even know what's happening on your farm. You don't know if you are running at a loss or you are running on profit. So it's on that farm record now that we are making this video. We want to walk you through the cost price. Now, when we got these animals in totality, I may not be walking you through the entire 2 + 2 and everything to make the final cost, because that will make this video massively long, which I'm not sure you really want, and I'm not sure it's actually very important. So what we just did is we did the sum of the animals, the cost price, the amount we got them, because these animals were not bred on this farm. We bought them. Now, the cost of buying them, the cost of transporting them, and then the cost of feeding them, and the cost of drugs, getting drugs for them. Now, that's, of course, you have shown you several things that happened on this farm in terms of feeding them. So you understand, when we're talking about the feeding, we're talking about using the chicken feed, which was quite really expensive. The chicken feed is actually the major reason why this thing is it's as much as this, why the cost price is as much as this, because we got lots of bags of chicken feeds, and they were very expensive, close to 30,000 per one in many cases, in some cases. So at some point we got at 27,000, at some point 28 one. Some, I think maybe, I don't know if we got at 29 one at any time, but 28 one I remember getting at 28 one. So, and then we also got the drugs for them and everything. So that, all those, the cost and everything is what summed up to a total of 534,950. 534,950. That was the total cost of all these several things, including the amount we got them. Including, this is done to the best of my knowledge. So, and I will do some estimate. That means I will push the money. Actually, I will approximate it in such a way that it will amount for any other, if there was any other little cost, like me transporting myself to the farm, for instance, I would shift the money. I will approximate it. I will round up so that we can have a very absolute number. Now, that number 534,950 was expended on, like, after we did all the estimate, was like the total amount we could cost on 8 animals. On 8 animals, 534,950. Now, if 8 animals used up 534,950, obviously you understand that per animal we are having 66,868.75. 66,868.75. That's, let's just round that up to 70,000. Now, I didn't mention this, but let me mention this very quickly. This animal stood on this farm for just 4 months. So if you are wondering, was this for 6 months? No, it's not 6 months. 4 months, just 4 months, just 4 months. They came in on the 18th of October, on the 18th of October last year, 2024, 18th of October last year, November, December, January, February, and we made the sales February, at the end of February. So you understand that's an estimate of about 4 months that they spent on the farm. Now, the question to ask is, were we prepared to sell this animal? Did we really want to sell this animal at this time? Or what really happened? You know, normally we had a plan to push this animal out when they are going to cost about 200,000 each. So, and we're prepared to do whatever it takes to see that they can bring out at least 200,000. That means we were prepared to spend about 100,000 on them, because we understand that the metrics around this thing is, if you have just the normal, if you're running a very profitable pig farm, you should have about 100% when it comes to your profit. That means if you put in 100,000, you should be expecting about 200,000, all things being equal, or thereabout. Of course, things may not be very perfect and very exact, but thereabout. Now, but we made actually over 100%. We made 124%. 124%, which is extremely massive. Making 124% is extremely massive. Now, as I told you already, we're not prepared to really sell at this time, but this is what happened. The force of demand and supply, or is it the force of demand, I would say, yeah, is what motivated us to sell. So while I did not even hear initially, but it was later the person taking care of them said somebody came around and the person wanted to take the animal, loved the animal so much. Of course, there is another buyer that was so much interested also, but since we were not ready to sell at this time, we were not even trying to call anybody. So, but these ones came around and they loved the animal so much. Of course, we have fed these animals so well. So we fed them in such a way that they were looking so good. And that's why I always tell you to always feed your animals well. It's better for you to keep an animal for a short while than to keep them for a very long time. Keeping them for a very long time will only do you bad when it comes to business. Feed your animals well and sell them off quickly. 6 months maximum, they are off. So this is not normal, as I told you already. The plan normally is to have old animals for about 6 months. But this person came and loved the animals so much and was really and offered a very beautiful amount for them. I'll tell you the amount very soon. And as a mathematician, I did the maths quickly and I saw this is quite nice. Why do I have to wait till an extra? Of course, if I read them more for a little while, I will be able to get much more than that. But obviously, I will spend more also. So why do I have to wait? This is a really good profit percentage profit already. So that was why when I decided to let go of some of them, not all of them. Obviously, we are not selling any female because these guys are very beautiful, and we're going to be breeding them. But now, this was the motivation that got us to sell the pigs. And we were able to make 124%. But again, as I said already, 66,000, about 66,000. I want to push it to 70,000. So, the question is, how much did they offer for the animals? They offered 150,000 for one of these animals. 150,000. That was like, wow. So what we did was we agreed quickly. We actually wanted to push it higher, but I actually knew that this was very much good. So we agreed quickly and invited them to come around to get the animals, which they got, and that's wonderful. So if you do the math, 66,000 was spent on this animal, 6,868. So in exact figure, using this exact figure, we made a profit of 83,131.25. 83,000 on one animal for 4 months. That's profit. That's not with the cost. The cost is 16,868.75. Selling at 150,000 brings about the profit of 83,131.25. So if I decided to round up the cost price to 70,000, and that would actually now make the profit 80,000 instead of 83,000, which is still very much massive. Now, just do the math quickly. Imagine you sold 10 of such animals. Imagine I sold 10 of them. How much is that for a farmer? And this is something you imagine you raised them for 70,000, you sold for 80,000. Of course, do the math. That's 800,000 for the space of 4 months. Now, you can understand what I'm saying when I talk about the idea of the profits from pig farming, and when I talk about sharing to you lots of details on profitable pig farm. You understand we're not kidding right here. We are telling you exactly what is achievable. So you can literally make in 4 months 800 from selling 800,000 from selling 10 animals for the space of 4 months. That's actually achievable. This is from our farm records. This is something we just did on our farm. I'm not saying we sold up to 10 animals, but imagine we sold 10 animals. Now imagine you scaled that up to selling 100 animals. That's literally 8 million if you sold 100 animals. Now, of course, we all understand that selling the cost of raising 100 animals will be so much. That's like you would spend about 7 million on raising 100 animals, but you will make 8 million. So that makes so much sense. I really wanted you to understand these details. So this would all help you in factoring in if you want to get into pig farming or not. Now, I said already that this thing is not normal. So some of you should not make that mistake of thinking this is what you're going to make. Now, let me tell you why this is not normal. If we got our animals at the exact price they do get winners, we cannot make this profit. There's no way we make this profit. So the reason why we were able to make this profit was because we got these animals ridiculously cheap. As an opportunist, I was somewhere and somebody just said they have animals and they're selling at this price. I was like, what? I think it was that same day or so I found a way to get. I have not even had where to drop them. Their house was not yet ready. At this point, I'm sure you are seeing that this is a rented building. I think I've said that before. This is a rented building. So our own pen were not yet ready. But I understand the game. Opportunity comes but once. I think they used to say, of course, not every time it comes but once. So we had to key into this opportunity quickly, paid for the animals immediately, and almost immediately, maybe the next day or thereabout, very not quite long from there, booked the animals down and found a way to transport them down. Great animals, pure breed. We got them very cheap. That's why I said you won't get this opportunity all the time. So don't get used to what I'm saying in this video. Animals are quite expensive right now. Very much expensive. We got them for, actually, these animals we got will be gotten for about 150,000, 120,000, 100,000. If you are lucky, you see for 80,000. We didn't even get it for half of 80,000. Just to be very clear to you. That's telling you how cheap we got these animals. Very cheap. So putting the transport cost and everything, we paid for that, knowing that that was still okay. So that's what happens when you see an opportunity. You don't miss them. So that's why I said you may not make this number of profit. Don't get you too used to getting this number of profit. If of course you may make close. If you're running a breeder's farm, you may make very close to this. If you're running a breeder's farm, because if you take care of your breeders well and your breeders are giving you animals, there's a way you are going to be able to get the. Of course, your winners are not coming at the same price somebody else will sell to you. So running a breeder's farm may be advantageous for that. But again, this was just gotten from someone. So I prefer running a breeder's farm myself because of the price. The price of animals out there are very, very expensive. So this is just it. I released a video yesterday on, is pig farming really profitable? Well, you see the answer for yourself. But again, if you watch that video, the video I released yesterday, you will understand all I said in there. Don't ever assume that this came very easy. I told you, I think I told you in that video, I talked about what happened when the pump got spoiled and everything, and all we had to go through. So it takes a lot sometimes to get to this place. You can see the floor of this pen. You can see what's going on right there. You can see the floor of the pen, that where the animals were kept. You see what's going on right there. You see how beautiful it is, don't you see? Those are what you're seeing right there. Is what happened when the animals destroyed the place. So obviously you understand that these are some of the things that happens when you don't build your pen right. This is not our permanent site. I told you that already. So we had no control over how this place was built. So when we keyed into the opportunity, we just brought them right here, and they've been here for at least 4 months, and we have been grateful because it has been a very beautiful journey, and we keep moving forward. So if you are about to start your pig farm out there, you can learn from us, you can consult us, you can reach out to us, you can watch lots of our content. We're not hiding nothing. We'll be releasing lots of great videos on every step, every journey. So if you're new to this channel, please ensure you subscribe to this channel, click the bell icon to get notified on any video release, and we'll be walking you through all we do and all you need to do to succeed in pig farming. That's our joy. That's the purpose for this channel, to ensure that we are able to release our massive wealth of experience and knowledge to people out there so they can also succeed in farming. Thank you very much.